Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of this thing of ours, Grand Torino. Back with you once again. Back once again for the Renegade Bester. Okay, no messing. I want to get straight to the point with Melissa. I'll bring her in here shortly. Some very interesting, some breaking news, in fact, for us here, an exclusive here on the Grand Torino by courtesy of the great Melissa O'Neill. Melissa, I'll bring you on shortly. Don't forget to support our good friends over at the Little Farmer. Little Farmer. We love our enzymes so much. We keep them alive. Wheatgrass and barley grass, mighty shots. Small wonder they're so good. One wheatgrass shot is equivalent to 1 kilogram of your leafy green veg. One barley grass juice is full of antioxidants. Just shake and shoot. And don't forget to enter in your promo code GT for your substantial discount. Lots of breaking news going on. I will allude to the fact, and it'll be mostly directed towards my Irish subscribers, viewers, friends. I'm seeing and I'm aware of the breaking story down in Macroom, Cork, but I'm not going to speak about it there. We might talk about it in the morning. But make your way over to our friend Kelly's Twitter handle. She has a small thread going over there, and I will throw the link out to that in the live chat over on Facebook, and it will be linked in the description box. Also, the court judgment that we have here today that Melissa's going to speak on, that link will also be on the description box for you viewing over on YouTube. After the fact, I will be in the live chat with you in there. And also just to announce that we are currently streaming live over on Twitch. Twitch, the Grand Torino, Grand_Torino_Ireland, if you're on Twitch. So please go easy with me, Twitchers. I'll Boomer Central heading over to Twitter. I was getting used to all the bells and whistles over there. And it looks fairly reasonable. I'm sure I'll be able to get something sorted over there. Great to see Periscope filling up over you over in Periscope, and our friends over on Facebook. Also, our friends over on Telegram. Great to see Seamus, Star Girl, Margaret Rooney, and Amanda, to name a few. Paddy Kearney just joining in. Linda Daly over on Facebook. Mihal Amak and Michael Davidson also over on Facebook. And the room fills up. Great to see you there, Ian, as well. Okay, let me drop that down. Don't forget to follow us over on Twitch. Now, with further ado, let me bring in Melissa. Melissa, great. Good evening. How are you? Thanks for joining me.
Good evening, Ron. Thanks for having me this evening.
Not a problem. You have a scoop that's about to break, and I'd say we will be all over mainstream tomorrow. But you have the behind-the-scenes information. So effectively, I'm going to turn it over to you. Melissa, let's get started. What is it? What is it all about?
Okay, Ron, I suppose while we're all being distracted with wearing of masks and the lockdown, there's quite an amount of us that have been watching of what's going on behind the scenes. What are they distracting us from? And this is something that is very, very important for all of us into the future as to what you believe is there in services. Today, we're all well aware of the disability services that have been taken away, as in our OTs, the speech and language, the physiotherapy. But I want to expose something that's been taken away behind the scenes that is going to affect an awful lot of people's lives in Ireland. And that's what is called a primary medical certificate. And for those that are unaware what a primary medical certificate is, I just want to give a little bit of a background. So basically, it's a VAT excise and tax excise for those disabled drivers and their passengers. And these are regulations that have been in place since 1904 in Ireland under the Finance Act of 1989. So this isn't something that just showed up a couple of years ago, or, this has been available for those with disabilities in Ireland for quite a number of years. And if at all, it should be updated and it should be made more accessible after Ireland signing the UN Convention of the Rights of Those with Disabilities. I do believe this comes under EU law. And again, it comes under the law that a lot of our listeners might be aware of. We've put it out there with the masks, which is the equality law. So all of this would come under these laws that are very, very, deep in this of Irish law and legislation. Just to say, 4 years ago, two amazing Irish mammies involved with the DCA Warriors. They are the DCA Warriors. They're the Warrior Mothers of Ireland, as far as I'm concerned. Took on a case when their children, very disabled children, were refused this primary medical cert. Now, anyone that would know about this, even if you have an elderly couple, for instance, and I know my own son's grandparents would have got this at one stage when one may have had dementia and a lot of appointments and everything. So basically, it's a VAT and tax that we shouldn't be paying half of anyway. You know, they're no problem throwing all our road tax to Irish Water, but yet they are now taking it from those with disabilities. So I just want to go into depth here that there was a court case of 2 children that were denied their medical cert. This would come under even areas like EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, spinal injuries. So, you know, it covers quite a lot of areas. So I want to let people know what is the definition of a disability in Ireland under Irish legislation. So basically, it's the total or partial absence of a person's bodily or mental functions, including the absence part of a person's body. The presence in the body of organisms likely to cause chronic disease or illness. So basically you'll be talking about cancer and dementia and Parkinson's in that area. So C would be the malfunction, malformation, or disfigurement of a part of a person's body. So here then you would be talking about, you know, again, cancer patients that might have to have, you know, different parts of their body amputated. So basically amputees. C, a condition malfunction which results in a person's learning difficulty from a person without the condition of malfunction. So here again, we'd be talking about, you know, intellectually disabled and different areas along that line. And E, a condition or disease, illness, which affects a person's thought process, perception, and emotions of judgment. Again, this would come under mental health issues. So this in Ireland is considered what a disability is. Now, for the primary care certificate, they had very high criteria. And this would basically just to be able to get VAT back and tax back on a car for a severely or permanently disabled person. So what we found out is the people that actually were entitled to this were being constantly refused. And there was 2 very brave MEMs that brought this to the Supreme Courts in Ireland. It's been sitting there for 4 years. So all of those people in government would have been aware of this court case. On the 18th of June, I am very happy to say, and the link is attached here, that those 2 very brave parents won the High Court Supreme Court case. There was 5 judges that ruled in favour of these mothers and who were fighting for their children for this certificate that they were very much entitled to. And thankfully, they did win. And sometimes you can have a case where maybe 3 judges go against 2 and they'd win. But in this case, all 5 Supreme judges ruled in favour of those children getting their certificates. Now, this is the next part I really want to be very, very strong about. The Minister for Justice and the Drivers' Board were the people that the case was against. So this was Minister Paschal O'Donoghue, Minister for Justice, was involved in this case. He was brought to court by these parents, as was the Drivers' Disabled Board, and he lost. And when he lost, he went back to his departments and basically, and I have actually evidence here of wording that was used. Now, as local people with disabilities, where you go is to your local community primary care centres, and you apply for your primary care cert. These people were not told not to keep taking in forms, not to keep sending out forms, but they were told assessments were stopped. Now, why were the assessments stopped? Minister Paschal O'Donoghue was caught. He was caught short, and he was caught to be in the wrong. And instead of doing the right thing, the honest thing, to come out in public and admit that he was caught short, that the people that were deserving these certificates and their VAT back and their tax back with severe or long-term disabilities, that they were refusing people left, right and centre, and that they were in the wrong. Instead, what did Minister Paschal O'Donoghue do? He went back and he put out to the local community, our primary centres, that deal with the public on a daily basis, and put out a statement stating his officials told him not to restart the scheme. Now, there isn't a minister in Gangster House that was told. There isn't a councillor in any council in Ireland that was told. You know, all these elected people, nobody was told. But he states his officials told him not to restart the scheme. Now, that was behind the scenes, Rowan. And thankfully, I had the jizz to ring around the country and ring several different counties. And I have done so. I have found out there are 54 people waiting on a list in Waterford alone. And they do not know that that list is the list to nowhere. That they've stopped the assessments, they have stopped the scheme, and they have told nobody. Now, I am calling on Minister Paschal O'Donoghue to step down immediately for what he is doing. He's not only stopping it against those people that they feel don't deserve it or aren't disabled enough, he's actually stopped the scheme for any person out there that has had 2 legs amputated. He stopped it for everybody. Now, I would like to also say there's 170 people. We have the numbers. We have had TDs out all week. We put in the questions. They haven't come back with the numbers. But I rang around every county and I got the numbers where TDs that you've elected, that are on 93,000 a year, plus, could not get the numbers or an answer back from the Oireachtas, or, you know, being put around in spins as to who's going to answer this question. But yet I could pick up a phone and get the answers. We have 22 on a waiting list in Kilkenny. And I can go on with the numbers. They will all be given out on Thursday. And I want to put a big thank out, especially to the DCA warriors that are the warriors of this country for the disabled. And I have to put a big shout out to independent TD Richard O'Donoghue, who will be putting forward all my questions to the leaders of the so-called threesome, three amigo leaders, whichever one of them decide to show up on the day, I believe, for the leaders' questions on Thursday. Yes.
That'll be brought up on Oireachtas TV on Thursday, so we can tune in. We could tune in to watch that, and he's going to ask him the very same questions. At the very least, Melissa, Melissa, he should resign his position. But following that, do you think there should be any further? I mean, loss of pensions and stuff like that, or is that just going to be the sum total of it? He resigns, keeps the pension off, he goes walks away.
We're sick of people resigning and going away with more and not having to work. We want accountability. And basically what he did in putting out that letter was saying, because of a Supreme Court. Now, I want to make this very clear, as have the people involved in that court case. It is not the fault of the courts or the people that Minister Paschal O'Donoghue suspended the scheme. The high-paid officials were aware of the case for 4 years. Why did they not have a plan in place if they were to lose the case? They were so cocky that they'd win it. They didn't even bother to think of a plan. And why are we to believe that they were only of this case when it was, the judgment came in on the 18th of June in the middle of this lockdown? If so, they should resign immediately. The removal of the scheme is just unbelievable, and the lives it's going to affect. We have the right to, I am, as you are well aware, on disability myself as a third-time cancer survivor. We have the right of movement the same as anyone else. We have the right of education the same as everyone else. And so do all our children with disabilities. And that primary care cert allows for that. So
would this have any bearing on
this.
Yeah, sorry, Melissa. Would this have any bearing on the Disability Act 94 as well, the existing legislation? Because this is Supreme Court. Yeah.
He is, as far as I'm concerned, the people, all of those that have their name on that list, and I'd be glad to talk to any single person, and I am personally actually bringing Pascal O'Donoghue up on this. My son is on that list. How dare they? I got a letter in this morning saying my son is on a list, when I know the scheme has been dropped, been stopped completely behind closed doors, but they're afraid that we'll find out about this while they're doing their budget. Because if this isn't faced and brought to his face, and that is not put in for the budget for 2021, we can forget it. Every single person, the 170 people that are on an appeals list, outside of those in every county that are on a list, that they have actually not even gotten an assessment yet. Not even an assessment, not to mind being at appeal stage. So we're calling out the drivers' disability board and all involved with the disabilities. And where are DFI now? Where are they? They were the first to come at me when I spoke out on different areas. Where are DFI? Because they're all the NGOs, as you know and I know, that are all well paid, with the same people, the Fianna Fáilers, Fianna Gaelers, and the rest of them running these at ground level.
Who should people steer towards, Melissa, to go further information as well? Because it wasn't just yourself; it was there's a team
the
there.
DCA Warriors. There is a team here involved.
Where can people go direct, and if they want to get more involvement in that there as well? Is there
Facebook they can come directly. The DCA Warriors is the Facebook page. Yes, they have 20,000 followers actually.
Fantastic.
More than what had outside the Dáil there at the opposite side of the road last Saturday. We have an amount of people working on this. Thankfully, we have an amount of solicitors, and anyone that wants to know more. I know Margaret herself from DCA Warriors spoke out in the last couple of days after a 4-year hard battle for all in Ireland for this certificate. What she has done is absolutely amazing, and I believe I'll be putting up a live that she spoke with Anna Kavanagh live, and that's there's more information there.
Yeah,
but basically the message to the people who tackle them, and basically this is what they're doing. Anyone that tackles them, they're putting out a message that they will punish us despite a Supreme Court decision, and that's what they're doing. That's what Minister Pascal O'Donoghue has put out to the people of Ireland, that if we stand up against him and we win a court case against these ministers, the finance ministers and the education ministers, that they pull what we have as a punishment. And we're letting them know we will go as far as the EU courts with these people, because they are in breach of every single corner. There are hundreds of people out there relying on this medical cert. And wait till the vaccines come in. And wait till we get the side effects. And wait till we have more ill children.
It'd be great to get more and more of the professional class.
Research are very, very important.
You know what?
We have quite an amount of good people.
I know. We have Martin Bourne over there with Dolores over in the UK, or I think it was in Germany. Oh, sorry, Berlin, for Doctors for Truth.
Berlin.
So the narrative is breaking down, but the work like yours, what you're doing there, and you and the guys are doing there, is crucial, because it's through legislation. And I believe it was Alan Kelly as well. I keep saying that 2015, changed the certification for the fire so that hotels or vacant premises could become automatic direct provision centres. And that was taken out a year or two before the huge uptake in provision centres, as more businesses went large and large. So it's incumbent upon citizens, wherever and how possible, to prosecute and bring it as far as we can go. We know it takes funding, But if we all are unaware that we can get behind groups like the DCA, the girls there as well, GoFundMe, and fund these solicitors and barristers to get up there. And
well, we're lucky. We've got very good solicitors and barristers, and
this is a huge result. Now,
they have won this. This is absolutely huge for anyone with a disability in Ireland, and there's people in their 70s out there relying on this primary care cert with a partner with dementia, and we have parents. I know there's another court case, I think, in 10 days' time, and just trying to even get a badge for a disability for your car. The criteria, they keep moving the goalposts, but at the end of the day, he moved goalposts, but the statutory law is still standing for that scheme, and he broke the law. He broke the law, and this is very evident. Now, he got time to go away and look at legislation. This was ruled on the 18th of June, and they're still sending out letters. I got one today that my son is on a list of something that we know behind the scenes. He has told the doctors not to do this. I've spoke to doctors in 5 different counties. I rang them. I found out who they were, and I rang them and I asked them, and they said, no, we've been told because of a Supreme Court case. Why? Because he lost? Because he was shown up to be wrong? So we're being punished? Not anymore. If we don't protect these kinds of services now at budget time, they're not going to be there next year, because it's at budget time is where they allow for these. And him burying it behind the corridors of Gangster House, he's not getting away with this one.
Great stuff, Melissa. That's fantastic work there as well. We'll have to keep an observation, keep an eye on it for the rest of the week as the story breaks and as it grows. We have to see if mainstream are going to touch it and bring it. I'm sure they can't ignore a Supreme Court ruling, and it'll have to be publicised on the mainstreams. But we, like you say, you're getting us the behind the scenes, the behind the scenes actions going on, and he has been caught bang to rights. And I wonder, would it be, well, it's not criminal, it's abuse of power. When someone's saying this, and as we know, there's never a criminal conviction for the abuse of power, but that will change. Things are changing. Melissa, I'm going to say thank you very much. I'm going to see you during the week.
Okay, just one more thing that, we've a lot of people out there being angry at Gardaí. There's a lot of good Gardaí out there, and it's something I'm very, very conscious of. And there's good and bad in all walks of life. And we have found good in GSOC, we have found good in HICWA, we have found good in different areas. Yes, the system is very, very corrupt in many areas, but I do not want people to give up on good. Here we had 5 Supreme Judges rule for those 2 children against a government minister. And this proves that when, that pen is actually mightier than the sword. And get to work and get down to the nitty gritty. And it does take a lot of time. And we're here to help anyone that wants to do it. Again, we had great revelations this week that a hospital in Ireland is under not 1, but 2 investigations that I personally helped put forward. And we are very grateful for those that actually listen to us. And we have the pulse number. And when you have a pulse number, it's the beat of the heart, and it's there for life. And again, we have to put pen to paper, people, because without that, if we don't fight in that manner, we are allowing them. We are saying we consent to what you are doing if we don't put pen to paper and go to every corner of Ireland that we have to go to legally. And we need to fight this in a different manner than on the streets.
That's fantastic. Melissa, thanks very much for joining us and giving us that bit of breaking news. You're an absolute legend. That's you there. You all good, yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Melissa, great to see you. Talk to you soon, yeah? Thanks a lot. Okay, then, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a few personal issues going on in the background there, so I'm not going to hang around. I will see you first thing in the morning. Please do tune in. Don't forget, we are now streaming from Tube. I will get more comfortable with it, and we will be able to use the live chat facilities over there. Still working on bringing the live stream back on YouTube, but still no conversation with anyone human, at least, anyway. But we soldier on. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us and continuing with your support. Really do appreciate that. Not these short broadcasts, but we want to keep them short and sweet, keep everybody's attention. Please, if you haven't done so already, please smash that like button. It's very important. It pushes into the algorithms. Help us spread the word. Help us reach out to more and more people and try and reach those that are still fast asleep as we watch this huge tsunami approaching us that we could easily avert and avoid. The major brunt of it, not all of it entirely, unfortunate to say. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscription button. We'd love to have you on board. Please leave your thoughts, comments, and witticisms on the comment section below. We do love to engage with you down there as well. Please also share this on your platforms. Like I say, it does help to spread the platform onto different platforms. Last but not least, we have our, like I said, the channel is demonetized, but we are not demoralized. We soldier on, we press on, we try to give you these interactions as much as possible. Please tune in to all the other great patrons, all the other great YouTube content creators, computing forever, knocking it consistently out of the park. Great reporting from Garrod Murphy. And to all of you doing your citizen journalist on your own platforms, well done. It's because of all those eyes on that we are able to expose. But we have a long battle ahead. We're only just beginning, but the pendulum is slowly beginning to return or to go back the other way. Don't forget, as I said, links there to the Twitch account. Please come over and follow us over there. Only followers can engage in the chat conversation. And going forward in the future, we will be switching over to OBS and probably play around with the display a little bit more. And for all of you who sent everything over on snail mail, thank you very much for your correspondence. I've received each and every one of you. Trying to work our way through them all. Fantastic that you are. And I think that just about wraps it up. Also, links to the merchandise store over there. Thank you for all I've seen all the t-shirts there over the weekend as well. Thank you very much, one and all. Fran is letting us saying cheerio from Facebook. Brenda Cassidy also, see you during the week. Eleanor Collins, to name but a few. Good friends Margaret Rooney and Stargale D over on Telegram. Thank you very much for your support. Siobhan joining us from Periscope, and Anton O'Brien letting us go. And he lets us know. Thank you, GT, us, Cutboy Suddy, and T's arriving tomorrow. Fantastic. Appreciate that support. Thank you very much. We soldier on, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. See you in the morning. Take care of yourselves. Us.